Welcome back to the Full Court I
Podcast.
finally did it.
I'm your host, Ryan Joyner, joined by Ben. How you doing, Ben?
I'm good, man. Glad to be back. Sorry I
Yeah, a
had to
little bit
get
of
you
a
like
long
that.
week. No problem, no problem. A little bit of a long week, but we got it together. We got to meet up. That's fun.
Yeah.
Um, Today we got a good show. We're going to talk about the historic night Bam had and kind of what our opinions are about it, and then we'll get into some questions that you and I have kind of prepared for each other. We don't know what they are. Some are interesting and some are funny, and just kind of go from there. And so we'll start off with Bam Adebayo scores 83 points in an NBA game. He shoots 40 a record high 43 free throws in a game.
I think he just shot another one
What
actually. So it's 44 now.
Yeah, I was listening to Locked On Mavs, and Nick is the day after, and Nick's like, whatever, and he's doing his ad break, and at the end of his ad break, he goes, yeah, and during this ad break, Bam shot four more free throws. I
Yeah.
thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So, but what are your initial thoughts on old Bam and his night?
I mean, obviously incredible. I'm happy for him. I love the guy. I think he's a great player, great fit for the Heat culture. It kind of is the Heat culture now. But yeah, honestly, very excited for him. I've always thought highly of him and never obviously thought of him as an 83-point scorer. But I guess when you get the opportunity, you take it. And it's kind of interesting reading after the fact because I mean, as it's happening, all I'm thinking is this is amazing. It's incredible. And I wasn't watching it live to be honest, but just kind of keeping up with it as the notifications were rolling in. But some of the aftermath, it's like there's a very big divide on how amazing it is versus how like, how much the free throws play into it and all that. But I'm curious your thoughts as well.
I um I have mixed thoughts about it. I guess I watched not I watched the end of the game, which was hilarious to watch, honestly. Um, but and then I was able to catch up on the beginning and
Mm-hmm.
kind of watch some highlights and stuff and how it was going. Um, he had 42 points at halftime, and the first half was like, I mean, the first quarter he had 30, I
30,
think,
31, yeah.
and yeah, and he was super efficient. He just couldn't miss. Is kind of the thing. He did whatever he wanted to, whenever he wanted to. And the Wizards had Sarr on a minutes restriction, so they kind of had him in and out. And every time he was in, Bam just took him out of the game. And I think it was his
Yeah.
first game back from injury, so like it was a nightmare for him. But the first half was really good. I mean, just like wow, like he's so efficient and he's hitting threes and he's doing this stuff. But then the second half was just a debacle. It was like you just kind of tainted what a great first half he had when you get into the fourth quarter and you have a situation where you're being triple teamed and you're shooting shots and you know you're coming down the floor and you get you finally pass the ball up and they intentionally foul Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
and then Johnson goes to the free throw line and misses and intentionally misses a free throw to try to get you a rebound to put it back, and then they get the rebound and you foul them to then
Yeah.
have Bam go and get the ball back to get fouled. It was like that's where it's like it's just kind of unethical, I guess. That's just kind of like I don't know. I don't know how much, but then a lot of people make the point of like 10 years from now, when people are looking at the records and they see Bam scored 83, they're not going to remember that he shot 43 free throws and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
then it's like, I guess that's true. Because people don't remember apparently Wilt, they were intentionally fouling to get Wilt the ball back for like the
Mm-hmm.
whole second half for him to score 100. So like
Yeah.
now, nobody's seen this video of him scoring 100 points, but they say he did it.
Yeah. Still very ominous. Nobody's 100% sure it seems,
Yeah,
but I mean, yeah, we all saw
right.
Kobe score 81, so it's in the record books for that. And now we've seen Bam score 83, so it's possible, but maybe it's not a traditional, like we saw Luca and Booker drop 73 and 70, and it
Yeah.
felt maybe more like they scored their points from the field rather than the free throw line. But all those high scoring, everybody on that list, I think they had at least 15 free throws made. So it's not that they did it without the free
Yeah.
throws. It's just maybe some of the shenanigans that, you know, we saw in this game didn't take place. But I think at the same time, I respect that the Heat just kind of leaned into it and said, look, I mean, this is what the Wizards are going to do. So, let's get him the ball. I mean, Spoelstra even said, like, once he had 70 with 9 minutes left, he's like, I mean, at that point, I'm throwing him the ball every time. Like, why not? When you're that close to history, why not chase it? And what else are we doing? And
Yeah.
also, like, this team they're tanking. Clearly, they're not trying, and like, that's up to them. I have nothing wrong. Like, you do whatever you want to do. I get that's a strategy in its own. But if that's the case, like, we're gonna chase history here and have some fun with it and celebrate this player that means everything to the city, and basically he would do anything for. So I think that was a cool moment for them.
No, I agree. I think it's cool. Bam's a great person as far as I know, and
Yeah,
like I'm always kind of rooting for him. I like Bam. I like him as a player. So I'm not like, oh, what a shame that he's the one that scored. Like, if this would have been like some rando off the bench, like something, then I'd been like, this is a little ridiculous. But um, I don't know. He's a good guy and he's fun to watch, so I get that. I just I don't know. It was just kind of an ugly. It was just a hilarious game to watch. And the other thing about the other guys that have scored, Devin Booker had 70 and Luka has 73, and even I don't remember exactly what Kobe's 81-point game was like, but those other two, they were close games. They needed, like the Mavs in particular. I remember watching that game in
yeah,
while I was on when it was live, and they needed every single one of those points to win that game. It was kind of crazy.
yeah.
So I don't know. They didn't need Bam to score 83. They beat I mean, at 150 to 129. They were going to beat them
Right.
regardless. So that's kind of where I'm like, this is kind of like, why'd we do that? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you didn't particularly need it.
for sure. It's less of I guess, a spectacle as far as the performance he put on. Like, it's still going to be history. It's still going to be the second most points ever for a long time, probably. But yeah, maybe it doesn't have the same feeling as how you felt when Kobe dropped 81 and they won by 8 points or so. And, they just
Yeah.
felt like every shot he's putting up's going in kind of thing. And yeah, they're letting him shoot 30 times, but he's making a bunch of them. And it's just one of those nights where, you know, Bam still had a hell of a night. I mean, like you said, 43 at the half when I feel like they were actually playing legitimate defense on him and he was just cooking them. And even the third quarter,
Yeah.
really towards the beginning of the fourth quarter is when it started. And by that point, he already had 70. So, I mean,
Yeah.
a bit of an asterisk, but not too much, in my opinion. Just a little bit more than maybe the other great performances we've seen.
No, for sure. For sure. It's just going to be one of those things, I think, when I'm like 60 and I look back and like, I cannot believe Bam Adebayo. Of all the players in NBA history, Bam
Yeah.
Adebayo is second in points scored in a game. That's kind of going to be wild. That's going to be wild to think
Yeah.
about. What I find interesting is, and I'm looking at the box score for that game, I would imagine. What do you think his plus minus was, if you had to guess? I don't know if you're.
Bams.
Yeah,
I
Bam's.
want to say. I mean, they won by 21, but I'm gonna say it's probably like plus 10.
Yeah, it was plus 20,
Okay.
which I mean, you score 83 points and you beat a team by 30, or 20, I guess. I would,
Yeah.
uh, I would have expected it to be a little higher than that, but
Yeah.
hey,
Well, didn't he play 42 minutes or something, and 42 out of
yeah,
48?
42
So
minutes.
I guess there's only 6 minutes that they could have caught up or grew the lead even more. So
That's
I
true.
guess I should have guessed around 20.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that's true. Um, but anyway, anything else you wanted to add to the Bam thing? I don't know if it's really. If you have anything else you wanted to put a
Yeah.
bow on?
No. I mean, I like that he was interviewed after either the day after or the night of. And I guess I didn't know that his idol growing up was Kobe, which I think is pretty cool that somebody that
Hmm.
idolized, obviously a lot of people idolize Kobe growing up, but, nowadays it feels like our generation, especially, it's kind of a variety of like, oh, I love LeBron, I love, Steph, I love this guy or that guy, but Bam is definitely, he grew up. He's got a pretty cool story, but he grew up idolizing Kobe, and
Yeah.
it's fitting to me that somebody that idolized Kobe breaks the record. You know, at least what we consider the record, since we weren't really around for Wilt's whole 100. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, yeah. Are you a believer in the 100 point game, or are you not?
I am, just because all the stats like in surrounding years, like obviously 100 is kind of an anomaly, but I mean the dude averaged like 50 points one season, so I'm like,
50.
yeah, it's like 50.4 or something. I'm like, you got to believe, at least for me, I'm like, I believe that it happened. It's just, you know, the day and age is much different now, to where 100 points back then, that's like 50 dunks essentially. And he was pretty dominant in his day and age. Like, not that there were
Yeah.
bad players, but there was really only four to
Well, it's
six
him and
good
Bill Russell.
teams. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're not playing Bill Russell, you might have a pretty clear paint path, for 50 dunks. So,
Oh yeah, you're
not to
playing
say that.
back then I think they're playing plumbers. So
Yeah, they're still putting the peach in the basket or something like that. So, you know,
yeah,
still impressive in its own right. But, just since I believe in it, it's less of an achievement to me in the modern era, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just to me it's hard. I'm a skepticist, so I don't really know. I don't understand how you have video of him playing basketball,
Yeah.
like not just him. I'd be like, well, we only have him playing Will or playing Bill Russell. So it's like, okay, well maybe you only got the money to go film those games, but like you have him playing random guys and random teams, and like you just
Yeah.
happen to not get the game that he scores 100 points. Like I don't understand why there's no
Yeah.
videotape of him doing this.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of the conspiracies about it. Like, apparently he scored 10 points and they just tacked on the zero next to it, and it became a thing, and they just left it. I don't know. I've heard a couple of different things, but I'm guessing they probably just didn't record that game, or they lost the tape or somebody. And instead of ruining some guy's career of like losing the tape, they just said, oh no, we don't have it. I don't know.
Maybe so. That
But
makes sense, I guess.
I don't know. I think it happened, but I'm also okay if it didn't happen, because I feel like modern history is a little bit more relevant to us.
True. True. All right, so we can put a bow on that, and we can move on to our next segment, which is going to be just questions that we kind of come up for each other. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first, and it's kind of relevant to our discussion last week. Just get it out of the way. But we had a pretty hefty, I don't know if debate's the right word, because there wasn't a lot of
Dog
logic
pile.
in both sides, but just an interesting interaction with a commenter on our YouTube shorts, which, hey, we welcome all comments. It was great to have a little back and forth, and would love to have some more of that. But in light of that, without kind of rehashing what was said, but I was trying to draw a comparison between Wemby and Gobert, strictly from like a defensive standpoint, like their type of defense that they play, and how comparable that they are, not just statistically, but mostly kind of positionally, how they operate in the paint, outside the paint, that sort of thing. And was trying to get his feedback on that, and didn't really get any of it. But more
Got a
so the
ridiculous.
question.
You got a ridiculous statement.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much that he's garbage. And I understand that he's a little bit slow, but that's okay. Like, that
Oh,
doesn't mean that he's a bad defender. So
when you say that Gobert is the more coordinated of the two,
yeah,
I can't.
I've
I can't. Yeah.
I've got a lot of clips that might think otherwise. So
Anyway, yeah. So
yeah,
continue with your question.
yeah. So I mean, obviously, there's a lot of comparison with them already, just both being French big men and all that. But I do think there's some correlation between how they play and probably how they were trained to play the game, being from France. So I don't.
Yeah.
I always have that comparison in the back of my mind, but I guess my ultimate question is: do you see any comparison between the two, and things about them both, if they are comparable, who kind of does it better, or do you see them, I guess, long term being a comparable player to each other, or is one going to be better than the other?
I mean, I can pretty soundly say that I think Wemby will be a better player. I mean, barring one of the points was that if he's going to get hurt, which is like, okay, well, that can happen to anybody. But if he doesn't get hurt, he will have a better career
Yeah.
than Rudy Gobert, and he'll probably end up having more Defensive Players of the Year. You know, maybe an MVP, maybe that. But we're not going to talk about offensively. He has already surpassed Rudy Gobert's career. Like it's
Sure.
just
Yeah.
there's no comparison there. But if we're going to talk about just defensive impact, I think
Yeah.
it's important to say like Rudy Gobert is a great defensive player. He's won 4 Defensive Players of the Year, which has only happened like 2 other times maybe.
Yeah.
I think that I'm not trying to say that Gobert has been like a bad defensive center, but the best player on the court. I've watched this with Luka for until when since he got drafted to the Mavs.
Hmm.
Rudy Gobert will get singled out in like pick and rolls, and like when games are on the line, they'll be like, "Well,
Hmm.
let's get Rudy in a pick and roll, get him out on a guard, and you can beat him." You will not see that with Wemby.
Yeah.
Wemby will not be put in pick and rolls to then have the guard isolate him. It just won't
Yeah.
happen because his foot speed is just way much better, or way more better, whatever you want to say, way better than Gobert's.
Yeah.
And so
No,
that difference
yeah.
alone is just like that makes him better as a defensive center and defensive impact.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was legitimately bringing up the comparison to him because I thought, in my mind, I do think Gobert is one of the greatest defensive players probably of our generation. Maybe not
Yep.
all time, but I'd say top 10 is pretty reasonable considering his accolades. And,
Sure.
I think he certainly guards the paint better than most defenders that we've had in our era. Um, so I know Wemby's structurally a little bit different. He's longer, he's a little bit more athletic, maybe, clumsy at times, but I feel like Gobert, like you said, is just the same. But there's slightly different builds. So I think Wemby can cover more ground with his length
Yeah.
and doesn't have to be in that same type of position that Gobert does, which is more kind of paint heavy, protect the rim. Wemby kind of does it all in different spots. So I feel like they're comparable in that they're similar build, kind of play style, and the impact that they have, but maybe slightly different in the way that I think Wemby can overall impact the game a little bit more. And
Mhm.
like you were saying, like the pick and roll is a big one. He doesn't have to worry about coming out and then dropping back in, and which is where Gobert usually gets beat.
Yeah.
Because he can kind of put his arm up, cover that length, and then kind of retreat all in one motion to where he's still protecting the paint behind him is kind of what I've seen when I watch him. So I think overall he will be a better player defensively. Obviously offensively, like you said, he's kind of already surpassed that for the most part. But defensively, like not just statistically, but I think he's only going to improve the more he continues to work with Olajuwon and other
Oh
players
yeah.
like he's been doing over the summers. Where I feel like his game IQ is going to continue to get better. Where he's only 22. Like
Yeah.
even if he only plays another 8 to 9 years, he's going to pass Rudy statistically across the board. It's just,
Don't maybe blocks, but I don't know what Rudy Gobert's block
well, I did the
numbers are.
math. I did the math, and it'll probably take him 9 years to catch him if they stay at their same rates that they're at, or
Well,
roughly
Rudy will.
nine seasons.
I mean,
And
Rudy will
that's
be retired, but
again right to your point. That's if Rudy plays 4 more years, which would put him
yeah.
at like 37, which is reasonable, but probably won't keep up the same rate. But
Yeah.
Wimby's is a pretty high rate too, so maybe his slows down at some point as well. But 9 years, then Wimby will be 31, and maybe he plays a couple more years after that. So I think comfortably he'll catch him in blocks. Steals is going to happen even sooner than that. So, and it's not just about that. Like obviously, I'm more interested in like defensive player ratings and the way that he impacts the team defense as well, which is I think a big chunk of why Gobert has won as many awards as he has.
Yeah.
But we'll see, because I mean, Wemby last year he was in top 5 in defensive player rating. This year he's trending that way. So I'm just curious to see. I feel like they're best comparable players right now to me. I can't really think of anyone else.
No, I mean, You can kind of put Chet in there because he has
Yeah,
like a similar build to Wembanyama. But I think when I think of Chet, I think of him more as like a not a perimeter guy. I know he blocks shots and stuff, but I think Wemby and Gobert are more physical
yeah,
down under. I think Chet has the he gets pushed around a little easier. Not definitely than Rudy, but than Wemby as well.
yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, just something we'll monitor. Obviously, every debate that we have, I like to just note as time goes on and see how it comes
Yeah,
out because we're not always right about everything either. So it'll. I mean, this one I feel relatively confident, but at the same time, I respect Gobert as well and know that he's done a lot. So we'll have to see.
for sure. I mean, there's something to say for Rudy as far as like in a time he played in a time where people were going away from centers. Like
Hmm.
like having a 7 footer out there was almost a liability for a while.
Yeah,
And so for a guy like him who's a little bit slow footed, but for him to be able to be as impactful as he was during that time period, well, there's something to say to that. So
yeah,
he's had, I
yeah,
mean,
for
he's had
sure.
a great career. I think he'll go probably a Hall of Famer. Everybody gets in the basketball Hall of Fame, but like that's a conversation for another time. So he'll get in there just because he won 4 Defensive Players of the Year, but we'll see.
Yeah, and he spread COVID, so there's always that too.
Oh man, he'll definitely go in the Hall of Fame for shutting down the league.
Gosh. Anyways, that's my first question. You got one?
Yeah, I got a few. I'll just go at the top here. For you,
Hmm.
who is the most or most fun player in the NBA to watch right now? No stats, no like just pure entertainment.
Okay.
Who do
Is
you
this
find?
on court only, or all things considered off court, on court, everything?
Uh, let's do on court.
On court. Okay.
Yeah,
So probably just strictly like their game is fun to watch.
yeah.
Um, that's a tough one. I feel like I was gonna say Anthony Edwards because I feel like
Yeah.
he's very entertaining both on and off the court. But if I'm strictly going off of game, I think I don't know. I really have enjoyed watching Quimby
Hmm.
because he's such an anomaly. If I had to pick someone else, man, that's a good question.
I think I'll give you some time to think about it. I
Yeah,
was gonna say Anthony Edwards because
yeah,
I just think the way he plays, his intensity, his trash talking, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's just fun to watch.
hmm,
So I enjoy that. I enjoy when, even when he's kind of just getting in the league and like just establishing himself, he's barking at KD and like legends. I mean, the guy that no doubt Hall of Fame first ballot. Like guys, he's giving them the business and, and letting them know about it. I just think it's fun, and and I think you never know watching him when he's just going to dunk on somebody or like do
yeah.
some crazy highlight play. Like at any time, defense, offense, you never know. So it's like fun to watch.
Yeah,
I would have picked him.
that's probably still my answer.
Yeah,
At least the last year or two, he's definitely been an entertainment factor for me. So I'll probably stick with him. But yeah, Wemby's just because he's so unique. Obviously,
yeah.
Jokic is pretty fantastic to watch too, just because of how much he does and he seems like he's not moving and he's just effortlessly
I know
passing and shooting. I don't know. He's just so different. So players like that always intrigue me, where they're just very different than everyone else you watch.
for sure, for sure.
But good question.
Yeah, thanks.
I've got a good one for you.
All right,
Uh,
I'm ready.
if you had to pick, I was going to do one team, but pick one team from each conference that you think is now the villain of that conference.
Mm. I think OKC in the West. It was the
Dang.
Thunder. It was the Warriors for a long time.
Hmm.
But I say this because I think winning makes you kind of a villain. But are we talking about like this season or just historically?
Just this season. Yeah.
This
I
season, I
mean, you
think it's
can you can do relative recent history, but mostly just this
yeah.
season.
I think I do think it's probably OKC. I think that the way, and it's not just because they're winning and all this stuff. It's like the foul merchanting, the way Shea kind of gets away with this push off that other players aren't getting, and then you have guys like Lou Dort who's just like
Yeah.
punching people in the face every game, and like he's not even playing basketball out there. Like I don't understand. You purposely tripped Jokic,
Yeah.
no doubt, and you're going to complain to the ref about it, and then the next time you play them. You're going around. I've never seen somebody go around a screen and throw their arm all the way behind them and hit somebody in the face. I've never seen that. And, a lot
You
of
weren't coached.
basketball.
You weren't coached to do that in high school.
Yeah,
No?
I've watched a lot of basketball, played a lot of basketball. I've never seen this ever.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
I think kind of Lou Dort alone makes them a villain. Like he's kind of getting into like Draymond level.
Yeah. Well, you definitely took my answer, which I was surprised because I was thinking about it myself as I was watching. I watched the Thunder and the Nuggets this week. Great game, but yeah, I found myself. I've never been a Nuggets, like I've never really rooted for them. I kind of anti Jokic to some degree, just personally. Like I nothing against him. I just generally root against him because I'm rooting for the other team. But yeah, I found myself pulling for the Nuggets, and I was like, why? What is going on? And
Yeah.
I felt like I don't really like the Thunder, and I liked them last year. I don't really know what changed, but now I guess since they've been winning, like you said, and Lou Dort's being a typical Arizona State player, uh, nothing. I don't know. They're like everybody else on the roster. I generally like, but I guess Shea's kind of fouling, merchanting, all of that stuff, and Dort has kind of soured me a little bit. And yeah, I guess they're kind of the big bad number one in the West. So there's just some
Well,
element to it that feels villainish to me.
they don't have like J Dub is kind of this way. They don't have anybody that you watch and you're like, oh, that guy looks like just like a good guy, like a nice guy, like fun to watch, like his personality is cool. Like Chet looks like he's always trying to fight somebody. Like I mean,
Yeah.
like they have a roster full of just dudes that look like they're ready to brawl all the time, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. So that kind of gets me, but to the East is kind of harder because you don't have that like recency bias of like wins, but
Hmm.
I think it's hard for me not to pick the Knicks just
Really
because I don't know
interesting.
anybody. I've never found myself, and I don't know anybody who is like watching a game and is not in like let's say your team is not in the game and you're rooting for the Knicks. Like, you're always
Man.
like I don't know. Like I never find myself rooting for the Knicks. You're
Yeah,
only rooting for the Knicks if you're a Knicks fan.
that's see, I'm the same way, except Doug roots for the Knicks quite
Oh, really?
frequently. Yeah.
Like,
At
does
least
he
last
have an
year he did.
allegiance?
No,
Does he
not
have an
really.
allegiance? No. So
No. But yeah, I agree with your point. I mean, I was going to say the Pistons just because I feel like now they're kind of at the top to some degree, but just some of their players, I mean, Duran and Stewart and Ron Holland and just a couple other guys, Asar, just similar kind of mentality that the Thunder are. They're just kind of seem like guys that are just always, I mean, they were a very physical team as well. So generally that kind of plays a role to me on who might be a villainous team, but I'd probably go
yeah,
Pistons, but Knicks, I think that's an acceptable answer.
yeah. I almost went Heat just because I think everybody's really tired of hearing about this Heat culture thing. Like I know I'm tired of it. Like I've never liked the Heat. I'm a Mavs fan. Obviously, we talked about this all the time, but like the Heat just hold a special place of hate in my heart. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I just don't think of them as good enough to really have that like
yeah,
edge to me. Like they're always I like that culture about them is that they're just kind of grinders and they don't always have the top talent, obviously outside of the big three era, but at least the last probably 5 years or more, it's just kind of been the grit and grind Grizzlies to some degree.
yeah. I don't know what you mean. They have the second highest scoring player ever.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I mean,
I
he
forgot.
dropped 21 the night after, but
Somebody went on the post that he like on his 83 whatever point scored post and was like, "Yep, and next game he'll have 16, 9, and 2 blocks." And then he had like 21, 9, and 2 blocks, something like that. That's crazy.
yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he was exhausted, but
Yeah,
yeah, no,
I
I
can't.
I,
Yeah,
I think those are good answers. I also would throw the Suns in there. There's just something
Oh
about
yeah,
Grayson
the
Allen, Dylan
yeah,
Brooks, and
Devin
even
Booker.
Booker. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a bunch of punks. Really,
yeah.
is kind of how I see it.
Never liked him either. But
Yeah,
I always thought it was like a because the Mavs played him so many times when the Luca era. They're like it's
that
just
too.
always
Yeah,
like them and the Clippers. Like I hated Marcus Morris. The guy was
yeah.
pain.
Oh yeah.
Um, so okay, so my next question is right now in today's NBA, which fan base has it the hardest?
I was thinking something similar lines, but that's a good
Yeah,
question too.
I was gonna ask you. I was gonna tell you to do both. Which one has the hardest and which one has the easiest?
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
I mean, the hardest. There's a couple that come to mind, but I think if I had to pick just now, like right now in this time, I probably would say the Grizzlies.
Mm.
I think strictly because they don't really have a path forward. If it's not the Grizzlies to me, it's the Nets. One of the two.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was gonna obviously you want to think like Jazz, Pacers, Sixers, like kind of all these teams you could throw in there, but the Jazz kind of have a path forward now. Sixers are good. Uh, Pacers will have Halliburton and other people
Yeah, they'll
next
be
year. So
fine. Yeah.
I can't decide between the Nets and the Grizzlies, mostly because I mean the Grizzlies still have Ja. They don't want
Mm.
Ja. Ja doesn't want the Grizzlies. They got rid of their other good players. And just night in, night out, it's like, oh yeah, 10-day guy, he's in, he's in. Oh nope, he's doubtful. They're called the question marks for a reason. But
Yeah.
the Brooklyn Nets as well, I'm like, what have they been doing for the last decade?
Yeah.
They constantly assign one guy that's kind of a star, or is going to be their star, and then they play him, a little over half the games, and then by the next year or two, he's gone. And then they get more draft picks that they spend on these guys that don't develop into anything.
Yeah.
So I'd have to choose between one of those two.
Yeah. I think for me, I was gonna say the Kings.
Okay,
I think
yeah,
that
that's the other acceptable one.
they've just. I mean, other than like the couple years where they had Vladdy and Weber and White
What do you mean,
Chocolate.
2002, 2001,
Yeah. Other than those 2
99?
years, they have just sucked all the time.
Yeah,
They can't, and they had like the beam year where they made the playoffs, but then they lost. It was like,
yeah,
and that like
the
made
beam year.
them,
That's good.
yeah, they were like, oh my gosh, it was like the greatest thing ever, and then they lose in the first round, and it's like, okay, what a
Yeah,
season! Like if that's your metric for what a season, that's tough. That's
yeah,
tough.
that's tough. Man,
Um, so
no,
yeah,
good,
so
answer.
I would go with the Kings, yeah. But then
Yeah, my
what about the
my
easiest?
my uncle's a Kings fan. I feel for him.
Oh,
He lives in the Bay Area, so he's like San Francisco
oh, he's
Giants and Kings, and yeah, poor guy.
not
He still
Warriors.
talks about. No, because they live near Sacramento more. I guess
Mm,
Bay Area is pretty broad, but
okay.
yeah, he still holds on to that Lakers Kings series from like 2000 where they went to Game 7 and lost.
Yeah.
He's still hung up on it. I'm like, man, that's tough. There's nothing
That's
else to be hung
horrible.
up on. So
Nothing. They got nothing. They don't.
yeah,
They haven't done anything ever, and they tried. That's the problem. Is like
yeah,
they go out and they make trades and they do all this stuff, and they had Fox and Halliburton on the same team, and they
yeah,
still sucked. It's like,
yeah.
oh, jeez.
I know that's true. Uh, on the flip side, I think who has it best depends. I feel like Boston's got to be in there
Yep.
because I mean, even this year, it's like, I mean, you still got a star carrying your team. So, and
True.
yeah, you weren't supposed to be this good, but you're going to be a top four seed in the East on a down year for you, and they make quality moves every year. It seems like they're hardly ever committing long term to people that they're not going to keep, and I don't know. I feel like I just trust their organization quite a bit, even though I don't like them. It's like
Yeah.
there's some respect there, but if not them, I mean, trying to think. I mean, OKC obviously has got to be in the mix too.
Yeah. I think for me, it's hard. Like I said, Boston's a good one because like they're consistently good and they're consistently going to get free agents, and even when they were bad, they were still kind of making the playoffs, like making runs for things. And like I know they had 2 years where they were really bad, and they get Brown and
Yeah.
Tatum, and all of a sudden they're awesome again. Um, I would say, I mean, the Lakers. I think the Lakers are always going to have a big free agent. Like
Yeah.
they're always going to have a big player on their team. They did it. They have Luca for the next 10 years. Like unless he leaves, but who knows?
Yeah.
Um, I it's hard for me not to say the Mavs a little bit. I know that the Luca stuff with recency kind of sucks, but like you go from having Dirk drafted and him play 21 years to an overlap of 1 year with Luca, and then you have Luca for 6 years, and then now right after you trade Luca, you get Cooper Flag, and you get to go into the Cooper Flag era. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no telling what Cooper Flag will be. Who knows? I am pretty confident that he's not going to be a bust, but like
Yeah.
I think it's pretty awesome to be a Mavs fan and see like that transition from superstar to superstar to superstar, where you have like teams like the Hornets and the Nets and these teams that are begging for half a talent like Luka and half a talent like Flag.
Yeah. No, you're right. You certainly are blessed in that aspect. I think other teams may have it better just organizationally and kind of long
Yeah,
term, but that's certainly an element that not every team has. So I'm surprised they didn't put the Chicago Bulls in there. They seem like a pretty well run,
they're
organized.
garbage. They've been garbage since Derrick Rose got hurt.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I forgot to mention them. I just wanted to throw them in there that they should be one of the worst as well.
Yeah,
But no, good question though. I like that.
yeah, yeah.
Let me think. I had one more I had. Next year, I just want your overall kind of brief synopsis. Utah Jazz, where do
Mm.
they finish in the West, and what's their team looking like? How do you feel about them next year?
I think the Utah Jazz have a pretty good like they have a chance to definitely be a playoff team, and not like a play-in team, like playoff team.
Okay.
Um, I think Keontae George takes another step, becomes even better than he was this year, and he's kind of being held back even this year, because they want to tank. They're going to end up having a top 5 pick from this year, so it's going to, who knows, maybe it's you get one of the big three, and that's awesome. And then if you end up with Caleb Love or something, you still end up with an awesome player. I don't know. It's hard to say what they'll do with their pick because they have such a heavy front court.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you have Markkinen and Jaren Jackson Jr., who they were playing great before they decided just to shut him down.
Mm-hmm.
They just need, I think they have all the pieces. They just need like the specialty shooter and like the defensive, point of attack defender. And like they have all the makings to be a real contender to push to.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna like push to win the West or anything. Maybe I don't know. I could be wrong, but because I don't think they have the superstar now. If they go get Peterson or they go get Debonsa or Boozer, then you do have that star to carry your team. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I think they're definitely pushing second round, maybe conference final, but that would be depending on
So you,
matchups.
so you think they're probably like 4, 5, 6 seed
Yeah,
somewhere in there?
I think 4, 5, 6. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of on board with that. I think I'm probably just with some caution saying like 7, maybe 7, 8,
yeah,
uh, pushing for 6, but probably end up somewhere around 7. The West is just it's so stacked to me that I'm like I think they will improve. I do think they are more suited next year, and they have obviously like 3 7-footers. So defensively, they're going to be pretty stout with Kessler coming back.
yeah. Right. Yeah.
Surely they'll sign some sort of guard in the offseason or have someone else that they can develop or draft to where, at least they have a pretty formidable starting five. But yeah, I don't know who I would like drop or put
Like,
above them. I mean, like I'm gonna have OKC there, probably Denver.
yeah.
We can name off maybe 4 more that might be above them.
Yeah, I was looking at it right now. I just pulled it up. I think if you're going to talk about teams that I think will for sure be above them next year, it'll be the Thunder, the Spurs,
Mm-hmm.
the Nuggets probably, and I would say the Timberwolves.
Yep.
I'm not too. I mean, they have the Lakers and the Rockets are both 3-4 right now. I don't know
I could see them
if the
drop.
Rock. I can see the Rockets drop. The Lakers, I mean, with Luca and Reeves, I think you always kind of have a chance. They're kind of carrying this team that's kind of
Yeah.
garbage behind the big
Yeah.
three. Um, and they're third in the West right now, so that's crazy. But I think they for sure can jump. I mean, right now they have they're way down there, but they're going to jump New Orleans. They're going to jump the Grizzlies, Portland, maybe probably the Warriors, the Clippers, the Suns. They'll
hmm
definitely jump all of them.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
Yeah,
seven's probably pretty comfortable for me. I don't know Dallas what they're going to look like next year. I don't want to be
it's
too
interesting.
optimistic, but I could see them maybe push for the 8 or 9, somewhere in that range.
Depends on what Cooper Flag turns into, really. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah,
the the whole thing. And what Kyrie do you have next year? And then
right.
it's hard. Dallas is such a crazy team because you have who knows what Kyrie you're going to get next year. You don't know
hmm
what second year leap is Cooper going to make. What are you going to get a healthy Derek Lively season?
Or a healthy big
Probably
man in
not.
general.
Yeah, like are you going to trade Gafford? Like what rookie do you bring in? Do they have an impact? It's kind of hard
hmm
to put, but they have the pieces, and I think if everybody lives up to their potential and Kyrie comes back the way he should, then I think that they'll be pretty good.
Yeah. So I feel good about Utah at 7. I think you got them at probably 6, 6, 7.
Yeah, I probably have them 6, 5, 6 or something,
Yeah.
depending on the
Okay.
Rockets.
Yeah, I could see them taking a step back just with age of Durant and some of the younger guys may improve, but I think more of the
I mean,
Jazz will just jump up.
they got to get a point guard so
Yeah.
badly. They need a point guard, and
Yeah, they
Amen
do.
Thompson needs to figure out how to shoot a basketball.
Yeah. He's got to spend the
It's
whole
bad.
summer in the gym, just like hundreds of
Just shoot
shots every day.
thousands a day, man. Like you're getting
Yeah.
paid millions of dollars. Get in there and shoot the ball, which I'm sure
Yeah.
he is. He's working with. I saw a video where he's working with Mike Miller on shooting, which Mike Miller's
Okay.
one of the best ever. So
Yeah.
maybe it'll
Were they
work.
wearing shoes?
Oh, I doubt it.
Okay. It's legendary
Um,
Mike Miller bit.
yeah. Oh, Mike Miller, what a guy.
Yeah.
Um, I'll say so. I had this question. I found the question is, what is the most heartbreaking loss your favorite team has had? But I'm gonna change
Ugh.
it. I'm gonna change it to what was more devastating, the '06 finals and the way it played out,
Uh-huh.
or the '07 first round loss
Uh,
to the We Believe Warriors.
yeah. Well,
Which I'll sit here and I listen. I'll let you think about it for a second. Um, I'll sit here and I listen to the All the Smoke with Barnes and Steven Jackson,
hmm
and they love to talk about this and how they
oh,
beat
I'm sure they
them and
do.
they beat the
Yeah.
Mavs and they had Dirk on there and they talked about it and like all this stuff. The point, just the fact is, y'all got Donnie or Don Nelson, who had just
hmm
coached us, had the same exact team the year before, and he knew exactly what we were doing, how we were
Yeah.
doing it, and that just was the worst matchup that you could possibly get for the
Yeah.
Mavs. It was
Yeah, it was.
horrible. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
I both obviously terrible times as Mavs fans. I became a Mavs fan in 2003, 2004, probably more
Mm,
2004, but because I grew up Southern California, so it was like Lakers everywhere. So that was my first introduction to basketball. I was 4 or 5 and watching the Lakers in the finals against the Nets, I think. So
yeah.
I was a Lakers fan for a while, and then as 2003 came around, 2004, I really just didn't really like Kobe that much, and I was kind of looking around for a new team at that point. I mean, at that point, I was 8 or 9, and you kind of have more interests and understand things a little bit more. So that's when I found Dirk, and I was like, oh man, I love this guy. This guy's like that's kind of how I want to play basketball. Kind of my more finesse and shooting, and less kind of big man style.
Hmm.
So that's kind of when I became a Mavs fan in about '04. So I think '06 was probably more devastating for me just because I cared a lot at that point that oh, this is like the first time my team that I really love is like in the finals, and every other sport that I have followed at that point, I was either too young or didn't really have a strict allegiance at that point. So I think watching those games, and I watched those games live to where I was like, man, we're up 2-0. Like, this is
Yeah.
amazing. Our team's going to win the championship. Josh Howard is going off. And yeah, just after that, just kind of complete devastation, especially with the way it happened. Like, did Bam Adebayo play for the Heat in
Oh
2006?
yeah, for
Because that's
sure.
what it felt like. Like,
It
God,
did.
every single time, like
Horrible.
Wade shot like 100 free throws that series. I kid you not.
It-
It's
yep.
terrible. So yeah, I still feel a little miffed by that to this day, just because it was kind of the free throw show and wasn't really like we were getting beat in some
Well,
ways.
yeah, and then you have. I agree with you. I would say that too because I thought we were champions. And like
Yeah,
2007, you just don't know. You lose in the first round and that sucks. But like you don't know if you
yeah,
get past the Warriors and what happens. Um, I just hate that it was the first time ever that a one beat or an eight beat a one, which is
yeah,
just like typical. Like great. But I think that '06 series, and then now later on you get the documentary of like the Tim Donaghy who
hmm
was an official for that series,
yeah,
and it's kind of like hinted at that he wanted the Heat to win, like
yeah,
so, and then you match that with Wade averaging like 25 free throws a game or something like crazy. I mean,
yeah,
it's too much going to the fact that that series was rigged.
yeah. It felt like such a seismic shift in the moment. I mean, and again, I was like 9 or 10 years old. No, 10 or 11 at that point. So
Yeah,
not a genius by any means, but it was like, man, we dominated the first two games, and
for
then all of a
sure.
sudden it was just like a complete flip of energy, and I don't know. It
No, I
definitely
totally agree.
is a bit suspicious considering.
Yeah, considering all the factors is kind of interesting. But yeah.
Yeah, thanks
Do you
for
have more
that
questions or?
depressing moment.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
I'm out of questions, but I'm sure you got a few more.
I do. I have quite a bit. We can go until you
Let's
get
go.
tired.
Yeah.
If you could remove one award from the NBA, so this is MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved, Sixth Man, Coach of the Year, which one would you get rid of?
All star. No. uh,
That's good.
Man, I'd probably say six man. I don't think it's every one of the other awards I feel like is a lot easier to track. The six man, it's such like a I don't know. I feel like with the rotations nowadays, it's kind of obsolete to some degree because yeah, like it used to be back in the day. Oh yeah, Lou Williams is going to come in and give you 25 points, or Jamal Crawford's going to give you some buckets off the bench. Like he's going to come in when the second unit's in, and he's the guy. He could start, but he's going to be the guy. And now you don't see that quite as much. At least I don't feel like I see that to where I'd rather do away with that just so that I'd rather keep the other ones, I guess, more because I like seeing MVP. I like seeing the most improved, especially
Yeah,
the other contender. I'd say maybe Coach of the Year, but I feel like
got to give
it's
something to
probably
them.
better that yeah, I'd rather do that than a six man. Like, oh hey, you were the best of the subs. Like, congrats. Only
Yeah,
because we put you in there for 30 minutes, even though you didn't start. Like
yeah.
I get it. I've never not liked it, but if I had to get rid of one, I'm just being a little nitpicky.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think it mattered a little bit when you had like those guys like Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams who were coming off the bench and like just lighting it up and they were winning it 5, 6 times and whatever. Like that
Yeah,
was fun. And then but now it's like and sixth man of the year does not all these things matter. So if you're defensive player of the year, like I said, Rudy Gobert is defensive player of the year 4 times, he's probably gonna be a Hall of Famer just because of
yeah,
that.
oh yeah,
Could not win a championship, doesn't matter. He's probably going to be in. Rookie of the year matters. That goes on your resume when you retire. It say you were rookie of the year, and it matters to some people who don't win rookie of the year.
yeah.
Uh,
Just ask Donovan
MVP,
Mitchell.
obviously, yeah, right. MVP matters, obviously. but nobody's gonna go, wow, he was, unless you're like Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams who win it that many times. You're not going to the Hall of Fame because you won Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah. No, definitely not. And I think I'm wondering how this became a thing. Like, I'd have to do some research on the history of the award, when it
Yeah,
started, and kind of why it came about. Because I'm imagining just some knucklehead on the bench that, like, clearly is, you had a player like this on your high school team or whatever. Like, you know who it is. We're like, he's talented, he's great, but he butts heads with the coach all the time.
yeah,
So the coach is like, I know I got to play him because he's great, but I hate him. He sucks. So I want to punish him a little bit. So I'm going to bring him in off the bench. And they want to be the show, they want to be the guy that everything's run through. But for the team aspect, like, you kind of need your other stars to carry the weight, and then just bring this guy in off the bench and play him, 28, 32 minutes. But I'm wondering where that kind of started. So I'll have to look back and see. But that's kind of what I'm picturing. And then they were like, oh, this guy's just absolutely dominating. Like, why isn't he starting? Maybe we should create an award for this type of player. But
yeah.
maybe I'm totally off. That's just kind of what I'm picturing.
I think some executive said, well, we should probably give an award to people that come off the bench. And they're like, well,
Yeah.
okay, I guess we could do that. I don't know. So then they just did it. I don't know. Like, there probably wasn't a lot to it, really.
Yeah. Best bench player of the year. I would have won that a lot.
That would, yeah. The next one I have on here is of the All Stars this season, who do you think will be a one-time All Star when they end their career?
Okay, so
So
who are the one-time All-Stars this year, or the
yeah, I'll
first
have to
time, I
look.
guess?
I think Norman Powell was one of them.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson was one.
Hmm.
Hold on. Let's see. I should have
I
had
mean,
this written.
so far it's got to be Powell. So I don't think he should have been an All-Star this year, anyways. Not that he wasn't having a good year, but I think other people were more deserving.
Yeah.
Like how did Keontae George not get an All-Star nod? And Norman Powell, who
Right.
averages like less points than Keontae and less everything else.
Yeah, I'm
The
trying
only
to
thing he
think.
does
So
better is shoot efficiently.
you'll have to remind me if these guys. I think this is Cade's first.
Yeah,
Maybe a second. I think it's Chet's first. Jalen Duren's first.
Duran's first. Yeah,
Is it Scotty Barnes' first? I think he might have been last year too.
I don't think so. No.
De'Aaron Fox's first, I believe.
Hmm.
I don't have the numbers next to me. I'm just trying. I have the list.
Yeah,
Brandon Ingram, I believe it's no. Actually, I think it's Brandon Ingram second.
maybe.
I want to say, and then I believe is it Jalen Brown's first as well?
No, no, definitely not.
No, he's been not. Okay, so
Yeah,
basically, I think the contenders are Jalen Duren and Powell.
yeah.
I think are
I'm
kind of
probably gonna go with Powell just due to age, and I don't think he's gonna have any years like this year moving forward. And
let's
this
see.
year, I didn't see him as an All Star,
Does
anyways.
does Denny Avdia and what about Jamal Murray?
Man, that was Jamal Murray's first.
Yeah,
It's kind
his
of
first one.
surprising. I mean, I'm still gonna go Powell. I do think Denny's gonna have more years of All Star. I don't necessarily think that. Um, who did you just say? I forgot his name.
Denny Avdia and Norm Powell and Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. Yeah, I don't necessarily think he will have a lot more All Star games, or maybe he'll have one more, but I
Yeah.
probably would lean Powell just conservatively.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think it's pretty. Yeah, you're right. I think it's pretty. When I read this, when I thought of this question or like kind of read it, I was like, well, yeah, Norm Powell was my first one, and I was like, yeah, he won't be an All Star again. He probably didn't. Like you said, he didn't deserve to be an All Star this year. I don't think. 22,
Yeah.
2 and 3, like,
Dude, you put me out
and
there
you
for 30
left.
minutes, I'm getting 2 rebounds.
Yeah, getting 2 rebounds and 3 rebounds and 2 assists, and then you
Oh,
have
yeah.
Sengun, who was an injury replacement. He's given 26 and 8. So
Yeah,
it's
what about
like,
Kawhi? Kawhi wasn't even an All Star.
yeah,
James
Kawhi.
Harden,
Kawhi's
Keontae
was
George.
a late ad, I believe. Yeah, Keontae George is a good one. Yeah,
Like, there's just so many names that I was like, really? Norman
yeah,
Powell?
that's crazy.
They're just trying to get these Team World, all that
I
nonsense
guess so.
sorted, I guess.
Where's Norman Powell from? He's from the the islands or something.
Yeah, he's Bahamas, but I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, just put Kawhi. Like he owns Canada. Like we all know that. So
He's the prime minister, basically.
yeah, pretty much. I mean the quadruple rim job, Kawhi. God.
Oh man, I think Joel Embiid's still waking up with nightmares.
Yeah, I think that cracked his knee in half on its own. It's terrible.
Yeah, the way he's crouched down, that's funny.
Yeah.
Um, Here's a ridiculous one for you that I
Okay.
thought of. I thought it was funny. If you could pick, and this is you can't choose Steph Curry.
Okay.
If
Interesting
if you
start.
could pick one NBA player
Seth
to
Curry.
represent to represent Earth in a 3-point shooting contest
Okay.
against aliens,
Oh.
who would you choose?
Okay. Yeah, assuming like fully healthy and you know. Um.
There's a second part to this question, but we'll go with that first.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Dame Lillard, just
Oh,
because it
that's
doesn't
dang, that's
doesn't matter
ridiculous.
if he has an Achilles. He's still gonna beat you.
I didn't think you were going to choose him. I thought that's what I would have picked. That's what I was going to pick.
Yeah.
That guy is crazy. He's so clutch.
Yeah.
He cannot
Dude.
play a single game all season and still beat everybody in 3-point contests.
Okay. Okay. Side question to that. There, I saw something on Sleeper. I don't know if you use Sleeper for anything, but
No, I see
they
something.
send notifications every now and then, and NBA one came in and it was like, "What's the greatest playoff moment of all time in the NBA?" And then it's just it's like a stream of people answering, and some serious,
Right.
some not, and there's Kawhi's shot, there's Michael Jordan's buzzer beater over the Cavs, and I still think to me it's Dame Lillard's three over Paul George. I don't know why
To
that,
send
but
them
then
home.
also then I'm like that against Brandon Roy and the Blazers too. Like those two moments, or
Yeah.
not sorry, not Brandon Roy, the Rockets, where he sank it over the Rockets too. Like those two
And
moments just live rent free in my head. Just I tried to buy
yeah.
that pair of shoes that he was wearing. I've looked so hard for that pair of shoes, that colorway. Can't find
Hmm.
it because I don't think they
No.
sell them because of that moment. It's crazy,
I
isn't
gotta
it?
go into an archive.
Yes. Like I've literally done the research, zoom in, like put it on the Google image, and like, hey,
That's
what's this
funny.
shoe? I know the model. Where's this colorway? They don't sell it.
That's so funny. I never even
Yeah.
thought about it. Yeah, I was gonna pick Dame too because I just think that the guy he's so clutch, and so
Yeah.
if you there are a lot of good options, but yeah, it was between him and probably Clay. I
Yeah.
think Clay's just, but I'm probably picking Dame.
If I didn't go Dame, I would have chose Ray Allen because I think just
Oh
his
yeah,
his shot release and his clutch gene too. I think you got to go
he could do
more. I
it
think clutch gene than anything for this.
for sure. For sure, he could probably do it today.
Yeah, I mean he's
Um,
Jesus Shuttlesworth. We're gonna put Jesus against the aliens. Come on.
that's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a perfect fit, really. Um, let's see some of these other questions. Let's see. I have one that's if you could add one rule or change an existing rule in the NBA, what would you do? What would you change?
Defensive 3 seconds. Hate that rule.
Oh, you
Stupid.
would have nothing or change it to
Yeah, I would
more.
take it out. No more.
Mm,
It's gone.
I would. I would change the. I think they should implement the rule where if it hits the rim, you can knock it off.
Okay.
I think that would make defenses like the lower scoring. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to see.
Goaltending is a bit annoying.
Yeah, goaltending's kind of annoying. Unlike if I get the goaltending though, like if it hits the backboard, don't whatever inside the basket. I get it, but like once it hits the rim, you can knock it off. I like that
Yeah,
rule.
I'm okay with that. I think
It,
one more serious thing I have thought of is limit timeouts. Like we don't need 7 timeouts or 6 timeouts in an NBA game. Like give them, you get like three
yeah,
whole game.
three.
Injury doesn't count for a timeout. That can be a media timeout, but you only get like three, one per half, and then one within 2 minutes. That's it.
I think that's fine. I think that you should do more of like you have. So let's say you start the game with seven,
Hmm.
but at the end of the game, fourth quarter, or you do seven the entire game. That's funny too. But you get to the fourth quarter in the last 5 minutes, your
Hmm.
timeouts go down to 2.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Because
shouldn't be
like,
able to save them.
yeah, to sit there and as a fan have to watch your team call 6 timeouts in a row is like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like
Yeah, it
can we
just
just
drags the games out, and I don't want to
yeah
see so many inbounds plays. Like I get it, it's part of the game, but like don't give them three timeouts. I think you can only call what two back to back on the inbounds or something. But
yeah something like that. Yeah,
like, just get rid of it. We don't need all
yeah I
that.
agree.
Like just run a good inbounds play the first time. Don't lollygag and like, oh, we got another one, so we'll just figure it out again.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have one that said if you could compare your own pickup game to a current NBA player
Oh,
that represents it, what would it be?
Danny Wolf.
That's a good
no,
one.
no, probably not. Probably not that good. It's got to be somebody worse. uh, I don't know. That's a good question though, because I obviously we want to pick stars and whatnot to kind of idolize, but I think realistically, I mean, we played together once or twice, and so you might have a decent gauge on a good answer. But I'm not really a in the paint guy. Although now that I'm like 40 pounds heavier than I was, maybe I could be. um, so I don't know. Let me think about that one. That's a good one. Do you have one in mind?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, growing up, I idolized Ray Allen.
Okay.
So like, I like to think that I try to play like him. But today's game, um, I think I have a lot of like Max Christie. You know, like
Okay.
I'm more of a catch and shoot kind of guy, but I can take it off the dribble. I can, make plays. Get into the paint, make plays like that.
Yeah.
Just like on the if you force it,
Okay.
like you force me to do something like that. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a good comparison for me right now.
I'm some sort of like 3 and D wing type player that can play in the post a little bit, but is mostly kind of a role player that doesn't really dribble much. So if you think of a good comp there,
Yeah, I think he dribbles more than I think you do, but I thought Najee Marshall was a good one. Like
okay, yeah,
soft touch in the paint, good mid range, like
yeah, I'd
shoots
take
the ball
that.
from three. I don't know. I think that's a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah, he doesn't really handle the ball much. I feel like that's pretty representative. Now,
Oh,
doppelganger, I think I've got to go Maxi Kleber for you without glasses.
yeah, I've heard this before. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, yeah, back when he was the Maverick,
yeah,
got
oh
me.
yeah. You got to get a
I had the
Kleber
short.
jersey.
I have a little long right now, but like I had it shorter.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah, that's fun. That's cool.
he's got thicker eyebrows than you for sure, but
Yeah, he's
similar.
German.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, let's see what do we got here. If you could drop any retired legend into today's game, who would you pick, and what role, and what team?
Retired legend.
Yeah.
Um.
So many, but like, yeah,
Yeah, but who would I want to watch? That's what I
yeah.
want to. I kind of want either Matumbo,
Hmm.
like Matumbo, Yao Ming, one of them two, or Jason Williams.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know. They're entertaining to me. I want to see
Yeah,
somebody do some fun stuff, and like Jason Williams, his handles were just insane.
nuts, and his passing
So
was crazy.
yeah, like you don't see that. Like Rondo was probably the closest we saw to that in our lifetime,
Yeah,
and it wasn't quite the same. But just the behind the back stuff he'd do and through the legs, all that passing, man. Nash was close too, but
I thought about Nash.
a little bit more finesse.
I think that Dirk would have just absolutely murdered everybody in this generation. I think that he
Possibly,
would
yeah,
just average 30 a game.
yeah. His shooting
Um,
for sure.
his shooting, the post moves, the I think the spacing was just it was good then, but like even now it'd be even better. But
Yeah,
yeah, but that's what I would go with. I think Dirk, but I'm just biased a little bit.
yeah, just a little bit.
That was it. I think that's all the questions I had. I had a bunch of
That's
them,
a
but
that's a good list, man.
yeah, it was
I
fun.
like started thinking about them today, and I came up with like three. I think I just
Yeah,
think too seriously about them. I need to come up with some good entertainment ones. Those are nice.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I thought, well, I can come up with some that are kind of interesting, like NBA type things. But like, I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm a little lighthearted. It's Friday, you know.
No, I like that. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be relatable. We'll get a lot of comments on these, I'm sure.
Oh, I hope so. I think it'll be fun.
Somebody's gonna comment, oh, Matembo, he was terrible at defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has
Not as
a
bad as
little finger
Wimby.
wag named after himself.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that's funny. Yeah, but that kind of wraps up the show. I think that was fun. We like to do these every once in a while, just kind of ask random questions. Sometimes, the last couple times I've gotten my wife to ask a few questions, but
Yeah.
we were a little busy, so she didn't get to ask some of her questions. She did ask one, but it was kind of crazy. It was. Do you think if Wimbenyama was 6 foot tall, if he would still be a good player? And I was like, well,
Well,
I
he's
think
not
what
a good
makes him
player. So,
yeah, he's not a good player clearly, but I think that if he's 6 feet tall, what makes him special is that he's 7'4". So I
yeah.
think that answers that question. Um, but anyway, yeah, it's always fun. We enjoy the comments. We love to go back and forth a little bit, and we're always looking for new people to listen, new people to interact with.
Oh, yeah.
So please like, subscribe, comment, do all the
Yeah.
stuff,
I
and
like the guy that came in from our shorts to watch the long video. We love
yeah,
that. Thank you for that. A
for sure.
Madrista, Magic Madrista, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah, Madrid
See,
fan,
he's
huh?
exactly, yeah. See, I told you, greatest team. Got to get Brian into
Oh,
soccer here. We're trying.
I I just recently got into soccer, the Euro League, but go Brighton. And so, but 1-0 when I watch, 1-1 as
Hey,
a fan.
oh, no. Maybe you should not declare your fandom when you don't watch.
Oh, right. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll. They play tomorrow, so go Brighton.
All right. Wake up
But
early.
anyway, yeah, I think they play at 8, so it'll be fun.
Okay,
But
perfect.
either way, no, it's fun. Yeah. Everybody have a great week.
Peace.